Perfect. Thank you for being here. Today I'm going to talk about state management again and how not repeating yourself thanks to Akita. So my name is François. I work as a blockchain engineer at the Ethereum Foundation, and also I'm co-founder of Adapt Nation, where we organize mentorship program for companies so they can hire junior developers. You cannot reach me on Twitter because I don't have Twitter, but you can reach me on Gitter or by email. And if you don't know how to write this, just find this guy and translate it to French. This is the name. More recently, I've been working on libraries like Akita and Fire, and the most recent is ETH to do some Ethereum stuff with Angular. Amazing. ETH to do some Ethereum stuff with Angular. And as you have seen, I love animation with PowerPoint, so let's dive into it. So today I'm going to tell you that you don't need a state manager, and that's actually why you need Akita. So first, why you don't need a state manager? Because we have this guy, behavior subject. Everybody knows it. Actually, it's very easy to build a store with it, create a class, wrap it with behavior subject, initialize value, then getter, setter helps you to change the value, and you have an observable to get the string. Okay, easy. We can create a counter. Wow, amazing. Or maybe off, like very simple one. But what happens when it comes to real-world state management? Most of the time you will deal with state as plain object. Like maybe you will do with React, for example. Actually, it works the same, right? It's a little bit more work, but basically we have read, write, and observe. So just observe on the change of one key instead of every key, but basically the same. It works super well, and you don't need a state management for that. But what happens when it comes to complex state management, like state with entity collections, stuff like that? And it's a little bit harder. So let's take a look at our previous examples. So we have this store here, this generic stuff, and we have three methods. So when it comes to entity state, then you may want to separate the concern out of it. You want to have a store to store the data, update the data, and a query to get notified by the change, or query the data inside the store. And then you will get some functions, set, add, update. Okay, mostly the same, so it works pretty well. And query, you will get the same. Here you have the observable way, and here you have the snapshot, right? And it works. It works pretty well, actually. But if you're like me, like 2 years ago, I was doing that over and over again. Like each project, I was building my store. And there is this concept, which you know, don't repeat yourself. And this was in my mind all the time. And then I actually discovered Akita. And Akita is exactly what I want. It's something that I know it feels like something that I could have done, but God, I'm so happy I don't have to do it over and over again, right? And it's so well done that I just switched to it, I just grab it. And let's see how Akita can help you deal with that. Basically, Akita helps you to manage complex states with ifs. So if you want to manage a variable like a counter, don't use Akita, right? I mean, use whatever you want, but not Akita. But then if you want to manage plains object or entity collection, then Akita will help you a lot and makes you your life much easier. And thanks doing that, thanks to a one-way data flow. So let's look at that. First, we have our components. And this component is going to trigger an action, so it's just calling a method from the service. Then the service reaches out to the backend API, gives you feedbacks. Service updates the store. And then you have a stream of data, thanks to the query. And it's render the value inside components. And because observables are lazy, then everything's fine. You just subscribe to your component, to your observable, when you need it. And then if you want to have, like, for example, more advanced query, I want to get all the movies of the current authenticate user, then you can, of course, inject all the queries. And that's what I really like with this, is like, it's really Angular-ish way of doing, like, oriented project programming with injectables. So let's take a look at very simple states. So I'll switch, we'll leave the presentation first. Okay, I will switch at the code. So I have a project here, it's already made. So simple Angular project. It's going to be a list of movie. I have two components, a list and a view, basically. So super easy. First, I will just ng serve it. And then what I want to do is I want to show you how Akita can be used. And because we are in Angular, let's use some schematic, right? ng add datorama Akita. So I should have everything installed locally first. The internet shouldn't be a problem. By the way, Datorama is the company where Nathaniel, the guy behind Akita, is working. And first it asked me to set up, if I want to set up dev tools. So you all love the Redux dev tools, Akita has it. Okay, let's say yes. Then Akita router start. You want a service that listens and keep track of everything that happened in your router? Let's say yes. Akita HTTP entity service. So basically all the call, the get, post, everything is already done for you. So you just have to plug your server. So I'm not using this today, I'm going to use Firebase. So I'll say no, and I'll say yes to Firebase. Everything update should be fine. Is it running yet? Perfect. Okay, simple. So it's a simple list, basically. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to settle. Yeah. So what it does, it has updating the app module. So it provides some more stuff, like if you're in production mode, then you don't put the dev tool, of course, this kind of thing. And also it's changed Angular JSON to put Akita as default collection. So just for you to know, it's changed the default collection. But it means that now I can do ng feature movie / movie. So now I want to create everything for my movie. And again, I will choose Firebase. So what happened is create a folder state here. And this folder has a model, the query, I told you, a service, so this one is for Firebase, and a store. So, very easy. Basically, you extend the entity store. And with the power of TypeScript generics, then it's super easy to manage. You just have everything that is running out of the box. That's all. Don't have to worry about that anymore. So now, in my list, here I will first import the store. It's here. And what I'm going to do is I have a function create, and this create is going to update the store. So let's see it in action. So just open Redux so you can see it. Page. Okay, so first, add a movie. We don't see anything because we didn't listen for it yet. But here you can see that I have added an entity to my store. So let's query it now. Yeah. So I will put the query. And now I just have to do this.query.select all. And select all is going to take the map of all the entity and put it inside an array, as you would expect, basically. And this is an observable. So let's see it. I add it, and now I can see my movies. So I add 7 movies, just fine. So okay, looks good, but I could have done that very easily, right? I mean, with the example I just showed you with a simple behavior subject, it works fine. But it comes with more things than that. For example, you can activate specific entities, and that's very powerful because most of the time, for example, you want to display one movie, right? So you want to activate to say that one is activated. So for that, I have a small guard, and this guard is going to set active the entity, the ID that I got in my URL, basically. This is just going to set the entity active, and then in my view, I will just select the element active. So when you see select in Akita, it means that it gives you an observable. So put the query. Okay, add it to get there, and now I have angel follow, and this is another one. So it's basically what it does here. It is set active the ID, and then I can just select the one that is currently active. So it works pretty well, and with the guard, it's very easy. So I could have set active to null. When I deactivate, it works. You can make nice things with this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's fine. But again, if I go back here, reload, everything is empty, right? So Akita, as you backed, it has this persist state stuff that will store your state inside the local storage. Personally, I use it especially for dev mode, but I know that a lot of people are using it also in production mode, especially when you deal with decentralized application. Like for example, I work with Ethereum, and you don't want to interact with database because it's centralized. So you may want to store some data in the local storage of the user. So just persist state. Okay, let's add lion. Boom. So really out of the box, I just create a feature. Everything was with a schematic, and it was pretty well. I just have to put this persist state, and everything's fine. So let's go back to the presentation. This is something that you're going to use a lot when you use Akita, and you don't repeat yourself by recreating all those super nice functions. I just want to show you quickly how the Akita ecosystem looks like. We have seen persist state, but this is just the top of the iceberg. We have there is snapshot manager, relative tool, of course, do, undo, very nice when you start working with database. You want to do something, show the user how it happened, and then you click OK, undo, and nothing happened in your database. Everything is local, works super well. State history, if you want to go back, it works very nicely. And also, Akita is super nicely integrated inside the Angular ecosystem too. There is like router store, form manager. If you want to have like a form on, I don't know, 10 pages, then put everything in your state, and it works super well. Schematics you've seen, HTTP server service, and Firestore state is what I want to talk just after. And of course, it's Ivy ready. So if you're using Ivy, it's ready for you. So now I just want to show you. So we have seen that we could have we managed to deal very easily with local stuff. Now I just want to show you how super easy it is to manage your state directly with Firebase. And it makes so much sense because Firebase is like real-time database, and it's a stream all the time. So you want to keep your state sync with your database, but only gets what you ask, right? You don't want to grab everything from the database and store it in your local storage, in your local store, right? And this is super difficult to manage. Like putting only what you need when you need it with from Firebase to your store is not something that is super easy to do, especially when you start dealing with subscription and unsubscription. And Akita Firestore helps you doing this kind of thing. So I will remove this persist state so you don't think I'm cheating with data that are stored in the local storage. So we have seen the store, we have seen the query, now we are going to see the service. So I see the service, and basically it's just extend the collection service, and here I give the path. It supports dynamic path and sub-collection, and deep sub-collection too. So in this case, I have a very easy one because, well, I don't want to mess with that during presentation, right? So just a list of movies. So what I'm going to do now is instead of adding the elements to my store, I will add it to my service. So I will uncomment that. Yeah. So now I have access to my service, and I want to add it in my database. And the other thing is you want to start listening with your collection. So here I create a subscription that use this sync collection, means that while I am in this page, I will sync with this whole collection. So let's see it. Maybe I should open my I may forget to remove the data from my database. So let's remove my data, everything from my database. Sorry. Oh, it's this one. Managers. Come on. I have it, right. So there are two things, sorry, I removed them. Everything is fine, I have nothing yet. No, okay, I have. So, now I'll just add something. It's appear again, because what happened basically is I send the data to my service add something to Firebase, so I need to reload. You know, when you have a no collection, you need to reload the page. I was so afraid when I was working on that. Where's my data? Okay, so here I just added something, and by doing sync collection, I'm going to listen on the change of this Firebase, and I'm putting them directly inside my store. And then Akita stuff, right? Just doing query stuff, selecting, I can access it with snapshots, works super fine because everything is inside a behavior subject. Yeah, I can edit stuff. But now when I want to go to my next page, I want to get updated, right? When things change, but only on the active entity. I don't want to get change from all my collection. So what I'm going to do is go in my movie guard. I'll just remove that part. Get the service. And this time I'm going to extend my guard with collection guard. What happened here is, it means that a collection guard is going to trigger this function, this sync function, whenever it goes inside, can activate. And it's going to start listening on the change of your database. And in this case, what I'm doing is I'm just saying, okay, I want to sync only with the active elements with this ID. So it's going to sync to document, only the document, set this document active to Akita, so I don't have to worry about my component. I don't change anything in my component, everything works out of the box. and can deactivate, and I think I need to remove it though. Yeah, and then when I go inside can deactivate, I will stop listening, I will remove my subscription. So, see that, update, and yeah, I have things here, and if I change something inside my, is it in the item? Where is it? Okay, let's put a big hello Berlin. Date it, and boom. Everything I just changed directly from Firebase, and I'm just subscribing. And if I go back here, I don't get the update. I mean, here I get the update because I'm listening on multi collection, right? But if I have changed something from this page on the Lion King, then I wouldn't get anything, I wouldn't pay for that, right? So the idea is to be as smart as possible with Firebase, and Akita just gives you all the interface, nice interface, don't repeating yourself, just doing things as easy as possible. So that's all for me. I just wanted to give big thanks to Nathaniel, who is building Akita. He's doing a great job, and he has helped me a lot for doing this presentation. And you should definitely look at those two libraries that he's building. Translogo is for doing internationalization, and Spectator is for doing testing, which is always the same thing, as easy as possible, with Angular in mind all the time. Thanks everybody.